welcome back to another episode of Daddy Issues. Today we got on Skip. I'll let him introduce himself. He was on a previous episode in the very beginning. But we're just going to be talking, shooting the shit, talking about random things today.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Skip. I've known this guy since he's, teenager.
Been a long time.
Been a long time.
Yeah.
And I've been through it all. If you watch the other episode, you probably see a lot of that. You know, for me, it's about moving forward, talking about things that I experienced and, you know, talking about where I am now and kind of my thoughts on, you know, a lot of the topics, the way the system's set up, and, you know, I'll do my best to lend advice to anybody.
Yeah, so I mean, actually, where are you now? Because it's been a hot minute since you've been done.
I'm light years ahead of where I was.
Right.
You know, going from, you know, the living the American dream, 3 kids, family, to basically sacrificing everything for the kids, you know, paying, you know, alimony, child support, and letting them stay in the home that I essentially had built while their mom, you know, was a good mom at the time and took care of them. But I kind of gave up everything. Now I own part of a business. I own actually a couple businesses. I write my comic book still. I don't know if I mentioned that. So, you know, there's 3 different businesses that, you know, that I'm a piece of. My daily job is a business I run up in Saco, and the other stuff's kind of side hustles.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm a lot further along mentally healthy. You know, that was a big, you know, issue for me. As you get out of a 20-year marriage relationship, you're broken. And I think everybody thinks that they can just jump it into another relationship and be healthy. And that doesn't work. It doesn't work. I tried it, you know. Unfortunately, I tried it with some women that I'd really liked, but, you know, timing's everything. I just wasn't ready.
Well, I was going to say, a lot of it might just be loneliness and you just want to be with someone, but you don't actually want to, be in like a relationship or really tie it down.
Right. Or you think you do, but you're just not ready.
Right.
I just wasn't mentally healed.
Yeah.
And emotionally healed, right? So, you know, I'm all of that now, you know, financially stable, emotionally stable.
Well, that's what's tough too is because I just had a guy on the other day talking about his child support situation, and you know he had a wife with 3 kids. They got divorced, and then now he has a new girlfriend. Years later, like 12 years later, he has a new girlfriend with a new baby.
Yeah.
And he was just telling me how like broke he was because he had to not only support his life and his situation, but then pay child support and essentially and alimony support his ex with all of that. And it's like, how do you do that? And then it's so difficult, but I don't think the court system really looks at both sides. They just say, pay this and it is what it is, you know?
No, it's set. I think it was set up, I think, in the 60s when they set it up.
Right.
I believe. I've been hearing a lot and reading a lot and, you know, watching the videos on, like, I've, you know, over the years. But it's set up to benefit the mom because they thought that the father was going to be the one to divorce the mother. But as a matter of fact, it's 60%. I believe it's 60% of the women are the ones who initiate divorce. So
but it's more.
There's a lot of incentive for them because of the way the system's set up for them to take advantage of that situation.
Right.
You know? And I'm perfectly okay with it if it's to support the kids.
Right.
But I can't tell you how many women and they're probably going to hate me for saying this, but I can't tell you how many women I've come in contact with that are like, yeah, I'm divorced. Oh, I live in a 5,000 square foot home.
Yeah.
I get to take the kids to Hawaii. I'm traveling with my girlfriends. Like, I'm not okay with that because then the dad, when I moved out, I had nothing.
Right.
Like, you know, I had nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and I drove my Toyota Tacoma was the only thing I really left with. You know, I took a little bit of furniture, but I had my Toyota Tacoma. Thank God that thing got me through everything. That's all I had.
Yeah.
You know, and that is a lot of guys are in that situation.
And that's what's tough. I mean, everybody in every situation takes advantage somehow, but it's like when you take advantage within child support or within alimony or whatever. I mean, I do believe in alimony, obviously, depending on how long you've been with that person. Mm-hmm. It's just the child support stuff sometimes, like, really pisses me off because there's no, and I'm fine with paying child support,
right.
but there's
Same.
no, if you go back to try to adjust, or you go back because your financial situation is different, it's usually nope, this is what you're paying, and it's also if it's the mother of your children, it's why isn't she getting a job or doing something to then benefit or a little better herself or better their lives without her doing the same exact thing she was doing, even if she's not working, and you're constantly paying.
Right.
That's where I get I'm like, how does that keep happening?
I think they need to readjust.
They definitely
the
do.
court
They
system.
definitely do. They were supposed to last year.
Well, that was the other thing. Is
In New
like if
Hampshire.
you pay child support, you don't know where that money's going.
Right, exactly.
You have no
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
I would have loved to know, like, hey, I'm paying for this. This is paying for, X amount went to clothing for this month. X amount went to food. I don't know where it went. Did it go to taking her and her new boyfriend out to dinner?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's crazy. I mean, my kids don't even know that I pay child support. Like, I'll never tell them, obviously.
Right.
But it's like they ask me all the time, like, oh, I need to buy new cleats. I need to buy this. My daughter's trying to go to California, and she's like, oh, can you buy the ticket? And I'm like, I get so mad inside because I'm like, you don't know, but I'm, paying her.
Right.
So it's, I get frustrated. But
Yeah, I mean,
it is what it is.
I'm in a much better situation, and I'm not angry about it. I also learned this, like, I can't get into another relationship if I'm angry, if I'm harboring any resentment.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm happy.
But it's been a while, so I don't feel like
Yeah.
you can be still.
No,
I mean,
talking about it.
Yeah.
But I still have to. That's the other thing is that if you have a child with somebody, they're going to be a part of your life in some way forever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you have
true.
to know that, and I think I learned to deal with my ex better.
Yeah.
She
Well,
has
over
certain-
time you have to. Over
Yeah.
years, it's like you got to.
We try to communicate less. It's less and less.
Yeah.
It is, but there'll be certain things that we got to do together. Talking about my kids, and it's always about the kids. There's
Right.
really not much to do with she and I, but I'm kind of, like I said, I'm a lot healthier. I'm more about a positive vibe. Like, I try to be positive with everything.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
that I am. Not that I don't slip and get pissed off once in a while,
Of
but
course.
I try to be positive, and I want the kids to see that positive.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I am now.
Well, that's good. That's good. Doing better. I mean, what other things we can talk about with single dads?
I think, getting yourself financial. How do you get yourself financially stable, right?
I think that's a big one.
That's
for sure.
a huge one because I put my faith in that relationship and put everything into it,
Yeah.
not only emotionally but financially.
Yeah.
So when you jump out of that, I think you got to be. I personally wish that I had been smarter with
Well,
the money that I made.
what about that guy, the soccer player who put everything in his mother's name? I feel like men are going to start not only doing that, they're going to be doing some, because prenups, a woman can break through a prenup. They can go to court and fight that.
Right.
I feel like a lot of men now are going to be doing what he did and putting things in their mother's name and stuff like that.
I don't know that. I mean, again, the system's stacked against us, right? Men.
Right.
It really
Yeah.
is. And again, I'm happy if you pay child support and alimony and take care of the family.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a father's duty, right? You have kids, you bring them into the world. You make sure that they have a roof over their head,
Yeah.
and that they have what they need. But if you start manipulating the system or doing things like that,
Right. The
where's
shitty
tru-
thing
then
is,
there's no trust.
right. There's no people to put a stop to that though. That's
Yeah.
the hard part.
I
It's like
know.
you can manipulate it and be cool. Like, it
Yeah.
is what it is.
But I mean, look, she was going to take him for everything, right? She was
Yep.
going to try to take him for everything.
Yep.
So good on him in that case.
Right.
But,
right.
but
Well, I think she owes him now alimony.
I mean, yeah. So
Which
I'm
is
like,
crazy,
I'm
but-
kind of. That's a tough one. There's a lot of gray area there.
Right. It's hard because there's no alimony child support police to
Right.
figure that out. So,
Exactly.
Like, are you abusing it? Are you not abusing it? How are you abusing it? But yeah, I mean, it's just shitty. But as long as the kids are taken care of, that's really all.
That's
that
all that
matters.
matters.
So.
You do everything you can to make sure that they're good, emotionally and physically and healthy and all that stuff. That's all. I thank God for that. My kids are healthy, happy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Doing well. Like now, I know that even though we went through it and it was tough on everybody. Like I would say, the hardest thing for me was to really be a decent parent through all that. Like
Yeah.
I definitely, wasn't a great parent, and I've said that to my kids. I'm like,
When
hey,
you guys were married?
no, when we were getting divorced.
Freshly divorced,
Yeah, when
yeah.
we were getting
Yeah.
divorced. I mean, not even fresh. It took me a while to be kind of like a decent parent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now, why was that? Because you were so angry.
I was just
or
angry.
something?
My
Yeah.
situation was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that was the hard part for me to just get mentally and emotionally healthy, so I could be a good parent.
Now, do the kids see that now? Do they understand it, or did it affect them a lot when they were
It definitely
younger? So
affected
it's
them.
like they
It's
just
still. I think
Right.
it affects my son a lot because he was with me the most.
yeah,
The girls were a little older, so they kind of did their own thing, but he was with me a lot. So he saw a lot. He probably saw more of the dark side of me
Yeah.
than anybody.
Yeah.
And it's probably affected him more in both positive and negative ways. Like, I think he knows that what was done to me was wrong. I think he knows that, but
Yeah.
he's never going to say it. They're never going to say that.
of course. But I will say when you're the parent taking it,
Yeah.
usually the kids are on your side.
Mm.
Um,
They're not really.
I don't know how,
say
I don't
it
know
to
how
me.
to explain it.
Yeah,
they'll
they-
never say it. They'll
yeah.
never say it. But they understand what's going on, and that's, when they're older, they'll be like, they might break it down to you. But I think they definitely see it and understand.
Well, I
what's
hope that
happening.
my hope is that they don't have to go through what I went through.
Right.
Any of them.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I'm like, that's why I'm always like, I talk to them about, their relationships, and I'm like, listen, you don't need to rush into it. I got married young, which I think was a big part of our downfall.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
how long
there's
were you
other-
together for?
Like 20 years.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
But we
that's
got
a
married
good
young.
chunk of time,
It is.
especially to be married young and you're
Yeah.
20 years. That's a
I know.
lot. That's a long time.
But I tell them to wait. Like, I'm like, no, there's no
Yeah.
hurry. Establish yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I established myself with her, which was great.
Yeah.
I think having a good woman is really important for everybody.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have
yeah.
one now.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, she supports you. She loves you. She gives you what you need on all those respects. But I think you don't know how that's supposed to really work until you're a little bit older.
Right.
And that's my big advice to anybody. Like, hey, don't
Like,
rush
wait a
in-
little bit.
Yeah, don't rush into it. I tell
Yeah.
my daughter.
I mean, what's
like-
shitty is there's more divorces now than the people staying together.
60%
so
too.
it's-
That's another
right.
60%er.
So it's our generation or my kids' generation. They're going to be growing up. With, it's more normal to not have both parents in the house.
And social media
It's not
is
good.
is not good.
Yeah.
It ruins. I think I forget. I don't know how I know. Some of these statistics stick in my head, but it's like
Yeah.
I forget what percentage it is, but it's a very high percentage. Like, I don't know, it might be like 1 in 4 is ruined by social media.
Yeah.
It's
not going to stop.
no,
you know
it's
what
gonna
I mean?
it's gonna get worse.
But because it makes it easier too for adults to then reconnect with high school flings or
Oh, yeah.
reconnect with people or even just hit up
You're
people.
window
that, you know
shopping.
What I mean? Right. Exactly.
You can window shop every day. If you're
Yeah,
mad at
you're mad or bored, you can just boom, boom,
Yep.
boom.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
You hit somebody up, and they're, you know what I mean, in their
Yeah.
DMs, and it's like almost like, and well, that's the thing is, I think everybody thinks they have options,
Yeah.
but then it's like you really don't have that many. You have options, but it's not as many as you think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
No, it's crazy when like I am so thankful for my wife now because it's like she is fine but so faithful. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I could leave her. I don't even
She's-
literally
well,
worry about
here's
it
the
at
thing
all.
about that though. She's from a different generation.
Right.
She's from the older school generation, which were really brought up more with those values.
Right. Yeah.
That's you're lucky there
Yeah.
because there are it's like it's funny because now, as far as my relationships go, I know what I'm looking for, and part of it is someone who's has a religion because I think it's important
Yeah.
to have a moral compass. I think people now need there are no boundaries
Everybody
anymore.
says they're religious.
But there's no boundaries anymore, right? There's no consequences. I think the people that are, I would say, and I'm more like God-fearing nowadays because I feel like there's got to be consequences, and I
Yeah.
think there are no consequences anymore. And
that's
I
why
think,
people do whatever the fuck they want.
exactly, and that's why I'm like, I know what I want, and I think that's another thing coming out of this thing, going into another relationship, is I know what I want.
Yeah.
I know what I want from the way a girl looks to what her beliefs are. You know what I mean?
Which is it's going to be harder to find, but when you find it, it's going to be hopefully
Right.
the right one.
Yeah,
So
I hope so.
yeah.
But it ain't easy. That's the hardest part about being
sure.
divorced is, getting back into it, is getting back into a relationship. It's hard.
Yeah.
Dating is difficult.
Well, but now people don't even want to go out and talk. You know what I mean? Like it's
No.
all through email or text
Yeah.
or you know what I mean?
and
It's
there's,
all that.
it's just, I just feel
Dating
like,
apps.
the dating apps, they're all fake. Every
Right.
profile's fake. And then it's like I think women have like, I mean, that's another, here's more statistics for me, but it's like they want a dude who's 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
They want a dude who makes $100,000, and I forget what the other one is. Maybe they're fit or something. It's like
That's what's
that's
crazy.
like 5% of the population.
Exactly. They don't understand
They're
that
not-
you're putting so much effort. Like you're expecting men to be at
Yeah.
such a level, and it's like you're not bringing half of that to the
What
table.
are you bringing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You just
know,
want to
and
be
it's like-
taken care of and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But come on.
And people are crazy. They think that it's easy to make 6 figures.
Right. Right.
It ain't
yeah.
easy to make 6
Dude,
figures.
not at all.
You know, it's like if you make 6 figures, and I know a lot of dudes that do.
Yeah.
A lot of them are single. Like people, these women have no clue
Well,
what they're missing.
right? Because they're busting their ass. They're
Yeah.
busting their ass working. So yeah, you want a guy who's making a bunch of money, but then you're going to cheat on him because he's not around because he's
Yeah.
making a bunch of. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's working his ass off. So it's
I know.
that's difficult. I mean, there are dudes who can do both. You know,
Right.
family man in, but it's there's a lot of people out there working, and they don't have
Right.
time to be that husband. be
Exactly.
that,
So if you have that, if you're a female and you have that, you better take care of them.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And
yeah.
it goes the same way for a man. If you got a good woman who
Yeah.
does that all the stuff for you, like you got to take care of her.
right.
Like, and I actually think I did. I think I was really good at that. It's kind of funny because she flipped the script and made me look like the bad guy. I was
Right.
that guy making that income. I was that guy that was home. I would come home from work and give my kids a bath because I wanted to.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Not because it was like an obligation, but I wanted to, do that with them. I wanted to put them to bed, and I did all those things. And it's like I think that this whole rise of the boss bitch has
Right,
changed that. Now, my
That's
ex,
100% it.
my ex wasn't that. She was kind of like raised in a very liberal, kind of hippie family, and the
Yeah.
mom actually was stay at home.
Yeah.
So they expected her to be like that. So it was a different situation.
Well,
I think she was
with your
got
situation,
bored.
exactly. I think with your situation, she got bored and you weren't around all the time.
Yeah.
So
I was working.
Right, exactly. That's what I think.
Well, when
happened
she got
with
to
you.
go to the country club, I was
Exactly.
working.
Right.
It's
And then you
like-
start meeting people, you start
Yeah.
talking, flirting. Flirting turns into,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say
So-
that all the time. That's the other thing. I'm kind of like, I'm like, man, I don't know, like a couple things that now I'm like, these girls do these girls trips and the girls night out. I'm like, and it's like, and then you flip the script, you go, well, how would you like it if I went out and
Right.
there was girls all
Like,
over
hell
me,
no.
talking to me,
Yeah.
hitting on me, knowing that maybe they're better looking than you. I see this all the time on
Yeah.
like social media. Like, how would you feel about that? I mean, it's not. It's my one friend that I worked with years ago, and I still say this all the time. He's like, if you keep going to the barber, you're eventually going to get your hair cut. It's going to happen.
Yep.
Because people are human, and people make mistakes. So my feeling is the other thing I've learned from the divorce is just keep my circle small,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I keep my friends' circle small, and that's been a huge benefit to me. The ones that I can trust.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's the other thing is like the less people you're really involved with, the better off you'll be.
Yeah. Well, true that. I mean, it's also like, how many of them are really your friends? You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like, yeah, there's certain people like in my group that I really would call a friend. Like if I
Right.
call them, they'll come and help me
Oh,
no
yeah.
matter what situation. You
Right.
know what I mean? That's a friend.
That's a friend.
Yeah.
That's a big difference. Like,
Yeah.
well, if you call and they answer, no matter what,
Yeah.
no matter what time of day, and
Yeah.
my friends know that. Like, if you need to call me, you can
Yeah.
call me at 2 a.m. I'm gonna be like, "What's wrong?
Yeah.
What do you need?"
Dude,
But-
actually, Pete Skeet. So,
Yeah.
and Manas. So, Manas was in Atlanta doing a furniture thing or whatever
Yeah.
conference, and his wife, their kids were sleeping, and one of his daughters woke up and she couldn't move her neck.
Oh, jeez.
So his wife called Peter. Peter was DJing, immediately shut it down, or just maybe kept the music going, but he left because
Right.
he's also a firefighter.
Oh, yeah.
So or an EMT or whatever. So he left, raced to her house, called the police. Like it ended up just being like a neck cramp or something.
Yeah.
But like for Scott not to be there, and for
Right.
his wife to call Peter,
Yeah.
and he dropped everything to help him out. I was like, damn, like you don't.
No,
there's not
that's-
too many people like
there are
that.
not many people like no,
Right.
and he is one that is
Yeah.
like since I've
I mean,
known him.
if
I've
you can
known
get him on the phone.
yeah, if you can get him on the phone, he is
Yeah.
reliable. I
Yeah.
trusted. He worked for me.
Yeah.
He was my most trusted employee.
Yeah.
No question, no offense, but he was the most.
That's true. Actually, I did introduce you guys.
He was the most reliable. He was. You did. He was, without a doubt,
Yeah.
the most reliable.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I never worried. He, honest as the day is long, and he did what he said he was going to do.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Never lied.
Yeah. Oh, he's a very
Honest dude.
trustful
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah. I just feel like you in the moment you're broken, but people need to realize that things get better, right?
Oh, right,
if you keep
right.
getting out of bed every day, that's what a lot of times I would tell myself. I'm not a depressed person, you know me, but there were times when I was like laying there in my new apartment by myself, going, "Holy shit! Like, how'd I get here?
Right.
And this sucks." But you keep rolling over, putting your feet on the floor, and going out the door and making things happen. It will get better.
Right, dude.
Like,
You
I
have
think,
to. There's so many people out there who are that they lose everything. And they're
Yeah.
super depressed.
yeah,
So it's like you gotta keep going.
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
have to keep
obviously, if you keep going, it's only going to get better, and
Right.
you'll stop thinking about your ex or whatever happened.
yeah.
It sucks, but it's like over time it gets better. So.
Well, I think that too. Jumping back into the friends thing, you have to have a good circle of friends
Yeah,
to help you get through that.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
can't thank my friends enough. You being one of them, Pete Ski being another. My buddy Mitch. Like it's you got to lean on them. You
Yeah.
have to, and you can't be afraid to lean on people. They you know what I mean. People like to help people.
Yeah.
I tell my son that
Yeah.
all the time. Like, you ask for somebody's help,
well,
they
men-
want to help you.
Men too will not ask for help a lot of the time. So it's
yeah.
like your friends will know you and be like, "Shit, we got to get him out of the house, and we
Yeah.
got to go do something." So
Right.
yeah, definitely keep some good close friends around.
That's the key. I think.
So.
Yeah, it helps. So.
Word. All right. Well, I guess that's it. Thanks for listening to the pod. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace.